We're in Singapore at the AkzoNobel house, and I'm joined by key representatives from across the building and construction value chain, where we have a good perspective and diversity of views and voices. From the perspective of a manufacturer of building and construction materials, we have AkzoNobel, represented by Oscar. And from the lens of a property developer and building owner, we have CDL, represented by Rachel C. And from the eyes of an architect, we have Szue Han, who is also the managing director for Miniwiz. And on how Green Building Council can play a role in all this, we have the Singapore Green Building Council, represented by Yvonne. So,
consciousness, right? So being aware of what you're consuming, being aware of how much of a carbon footprint you're literally leaving on the ground, whatever you're throwing away could actually be turned into something else. So think about it before you throw something away. Think about how you're gonna reuse it first, right, before you throw it away. One example really is working with MUR, the Ministry of Environment, Water and Resources here in Singapore, to activate a mini Trashpresso, wherein members of the public actually came in with their waste, and then they actually, went out of the event with a coaster that, we sort of had them pledge, okay, you're gonna use this for life, right? Because in it is 10 bottle caps that you've actually thrown away.
Also in circular thinking, so how can we reuse? So on one hand, indeed, we have to make sure that we have cleaner products coming into the value chain, but once they're in, of course, how can we reuse them? Renewal sources for us is very important, and we make some progress there. For example, we now use, actually, instead of black pigment, we now get it out of tires. We have now a project that some of our premium products get their black pigments out of old tires.
I think primarily, and especially when we design products for building materials that we ourselves design, we look at the life cycle costing of it. So an understanding of what the building is used for, right? And understanding the entire LCA, life cycle analysis of what the product is meant to do, whether it's meant to perform as, maybe for acoustic purposes, or whether it's meant to, just be for decoration and so on.
We do have a science-based target validated for our carbon reduction targets. We're not just talking about validated operational carbon emissions, but also targets for embodied carbon. So by committing to the SBTI, Science-Based Target Initiative, we have actually target to reduce our embodied carbon by 24% by the year 2030. For CDL, we have always been very open to innovations and looking for alternative, more sustainable alternatives. For us, we were actually the first developer in Asia to use the PVVC, prefabricated pre-finished volumetric concrete technology for our brownstone executive condominium. That was back in 2017. So actually the use of PVVC really helped us reach a lot of benefits and reap a lot of great things. For example, it actually helped us to increase our productivity and efficiency by 40%. And that actually helped us to save, talking about 55,000 man days. And also beyond that, it also helped us to increase our safety performance, reduce waste and dust and things like that.
Embodied carbon is not just about, the carbon per se of a product, but what Szue Hann brought up about durability, flexibility, and then what Rachel brought up about productivity. These are like different offshoots and different aspects that come up when you start thinking about embodied carbon.
Maybe even in some ways, how we deal or how we sort of go around certain constraints and certain constraints, I think, in order to achieve a better future. Maybe even running against the norms, right, of how industry and how logistics and how the world works, right, but creating new solutions that would therefore define innovation.
We are taking the lead in coming out with cleaner products, more sustainable products and solutions that can be a lower VOC, so less solvents, or moving to waterborne completely. We even come out with products that will reduce energy consumption because they will reflect heat, or even paint that nobody was expecting, even I was not expecting, that if you apply it on the inside, it will actually help to clean the air. So that even paint can help creating a better working environment and living environment. There are many bright minds out there in the market which we wanted to mobilize as well in this Paint the Future challenge, and it was an enormous amount of companies and individuals that came forward, more than 100, that we reviewed ideas and they were in the areas of application, and that was already highlighted by you as well as one of the key areas where actually the carbon footprint can be reduced. We are very excited about Paint the Future. It really has created a lot of, let's say, positive vibe both in and outside our company. You cannot do it in isolation. Reaching out to other stakeholders is very important, to engage in that discussion, to develop the industry as a whole in order to truly leave this world better behind for the next generations, which for me is the eventual purpose and what motivates us as AkzoNobel to contribute. We've got a bigger purpose to play here, and we've got a big responsibility on our shoulders, and action is required now.
Well, we certainly look forward to working with our stakeholders, and there's quite a few represented here. I think it's very exciting. It's a new opportunity to look into embodied carbon. So we very much look forward to making a difference and bringing this whole carbon conversation forward with greater awareness on what can be done about embodied carbon, and to shift what has been, I think, the past few decades of focus on operational carbon. Yeah, so I think this is a journey that we very much look forward to.
This year at the World Green Building Week, the World Green Building Council will be launching this Embodied Carbon Call to Action report. And we need the whole ecosystem, the entire value chain, the building and construction industry to come on board, join us to really tackle embodied carbon.